Making the background work with the model, that's a good question. Probably what you're referring to is like, this site and how it kind of like, I've got this hill built. So what I would probably look to do is get this thing to sink below grade, all right? So like when it's in Lumion, like when I'm in here on my build mode, what I would do is like, and I started to do this, let's see, I just want like this chunk of the site to go below. So like what I might do, see, and I could do this in SketchUp rather than Lumion. I would go back into SketchUp, all right, go back in here, and like this is the corner I was referencing. So I'd go into this part of the model, activate my sculpt tool, give it a like 20-foot radius, maybe a 30-foot radius, and let's give it a little bit more pressure, like that. Maybe not that much pressure. Let's see, like this, and I'll just kind of sculpt that down, like that. And that way we're trying to kind of get this to dip below the water, right? And what's cool too with this one is you get this kind of moving, and then if I right click with, these are the Artisan tools, if I right click I can go to smooth, and I can like smooth this whole thing out. It's just really slick. I haven't mastered these tools yet, but I'm looking forward to using them more. So that's pretty cool. It just kind of like, takes all those little pressure points out of there. All right, and then I'm going to save this. I'm going to hop back into Lumion, and we're going to go to our objects. I've already got it selected, and I'm going to hit reload. What I'm hoping to see is that this corner dips below the water. So let's just do that. Yep, perfect. So what we're getting at here is you need to model your site so that it's going to kind of dip into the Lumion site. So see what's happening here? I would want to go back and kind of adjust this one too. So like maybe I'll go back into here, push, let's go back to sculpt, and like keep pushing these down like that. And then I'll back out of this, save it, hop back into Lumion, and hit reload. So we're watching for this part to dip below the water too. Cool. So that's how you kind of integrate your model into the Lumion site. I suggest, if like building anything that you have like topo lines for, you want to build that accurately using like from contours, and then there's some other plugins, I forget the name of it, but once you do from contours, run it again and create a mesh, like a more regular, rather than that triangulation method, it creates like a mesh. Valley Architects has one, and there's another one out there too on the extension warehouse. So model what you have accurately, and then everything beyond that, just kind of give a suggestion of what's happening and let it mold into your Lumion site. Now the other thing you can do to integrate your site into Lumion is use the Lumion tool. So I'll go to landscape, and so like, I've dipped that part down. Now let's say like over here, it's kind of, honestly, it's working pretty well, but we'll just use the Lumion tools. I'll go to our height tool, and here's the raise. And just like the Artisan tools, I can adjust the radius and adjust the brush speed. And so I can start to kind of mound this up, to integrate my site into the Lumion world here. All right, and then, so that's looking pretty good like that. Another really a valuable tip for integrating your site into the Lumion world is to set your 3D model to be the Lumion terrain. All right, so let me show you how to do that and what it means. Let's see. Actually, since we've added, let me just experiment here. I don't do all this stuff all the time. So let's see if I just kind of paint this. Yeah. So as long as I assign the landscape texture, we can get this paintbrush tool in Lumion working on our site. But let me show you another function here. I'll go to my objects and go to my context menu, hit my context menu, and choose extra. And this mark as terrain, what that does, this is my recollection, is it allows you to place objects, the objects that you're dropping, drop onto your model as they would onto the Lumion terrain. And also, I thought that is what allowed you to then paint on your model, but I think it's more so that just as long as you assign the landscape material to your grass, you can paint that all day long. So yeah, that's the few tips on integrating your site into Lumion. Just make sure you model anything that's actually designed and you have a drawing for. You should model that in your modeling program, and then use Lumion to kind of craft the site around and just kind of mound up around it.